Good morning, good people. This is your Poolproof Wisdom Moment, Friday edition, first Friday in November of 2022. Another hat for you. There you go. This morning, there's something I want you to understand that is applicable across your life. All of the different relationships you have or will have, this is something that you need to keep in mind. Now, what I've learned is that over the years, there are people who only like those who do what they want and agree with what they say. You know those types of people. And I guess as I look at my own life, which is what I base these foolproof wisdom moments upon, I've never been someone who has set out to be liked. I prefer to be respected. And it turns out, by the way, that you can be respected and liked at the same time without losing your integrity or selling your soul. This is important to note as a distinction because some people have bought into the idea that the only way to have any type of success in the world is to go along with what others say and do so that you can get along. This is the reason that I am staunchly against that particular point of view. It's interesting, that when you don't allow people to disrespect, disregard, or discard you, that somehow they label you as being difficult. Now, here's the good secret, good people. Being difficult is not something to fear. It's a badge of courage that you should wear. Because let me tell you that if you look out over the history of time, that people who have been labeled difficult, on the outside, outliers, shit disturbers, there are a whole lot of phrases and terms applied to it, are people who have affected change that has had an impact on the lives of millions of people for the better. These are people who are not only underdogs themselves, but will fight for the underdog, who will stand up and say what's right, even though it may come back to bite them in the butt, and it makes it difficult for them in terms of the lives that they are given to lead. These are people who, no matter what, never lose their sense of integrity because they understand that there is something more important at play than whether or not they are doing well, whether or not they get the opportunity, whether or not they're going to be okay. They don't accept that by being okay themselves, that the rest of the world is fine to suffer. So they stand up, they speak up, they fight, and they get labeled. But I would much rather be in a battle with someone I can respect, whose integrity is intact, than someone who is willing to sign on with whomever seems to be at power or able to do something that helps them in the moment, when the need is that everyone needs to be helped. So sign on to be a difficult person, if that suits you. And be okay with the fact that your friendship circle can include and should include people who are not just there expecting you to go along with them or expecting you to say that what they think and do is right. Or even if you are the person who is behind it, you shouldn't have people who are just willing to say yes to you 100% of the time. It's through by being difficult, by that weak definition, that we all help the world prosper and change. And isn't that what it's really about? Do you want your legacy to be that you've been someone who has gone along to get along, or that you have been someone who has always stood up and done the good fight that is on behalf of not just yourself, but the entire world of people who are trying to figure this thing out, just like all of us are? A good question on which to end this Friday's edition of Foolproof Wisdom. And I hope over the course of the weekend, you will be difficult to the extent that you help the world become a better place. Have a great weekend, everybody.